Hello and welcome back to Three Bros in a Pod. This is part two. Part two of Two Bros in a Pod. We got Elliot back with us. Talk a little bit more. So let's jump right in.
Well, I think we need to not talking sports related, but I think we need a Gus update because Gus finally has moved out of the nest
Oh
and is
yes.
living in a dorm now
How have we not
on
talked
college
about this?
campus. Yes. So I want to hear about Gus's experience now living on his own and being more independent.
Yes, Gus, how's Whitewater treating you? I went there, so I'll be able to relate very well with you.
Okay, so I live in Benson. It's an all single dorm room, so everyone gets their own room. Sweet. Only negative? Well, communal bathrooms, of course. You understand this. But the only negative besides that is stairs. So don't have elevator, just stairs. So it's
Poor
like
baby.
a solid. I know, right? Getting stuff up the stairs when moving was a little bit difficult,
What
but
floor are you on? 2?
3 up 4. So I mean, it's not that bad. It's a little bit of a workout to get up and down the stairs a little bit before classes, after classes, with a book bag
Oh.
on that weighs 50 pounds because I got like
Oh,
5 books for all my business class.
Wah.
But anyways, I start my day out here, of course, because this is where I sleep. So, and then I walk down the stairs. I take a quick 2 minute, 3 minute walk all the way to Highland, and that's where all my classes are. I'm either on the first floor or second floor, and it flips back and forth between my classes. And then I come back here, and then I just fall asleep until my next class, and then go to Drumlin because
I
I
was
go
gonna say,
out the door and to the left, and there's Drumlin.
yeah. So you're kind of lucky that you live where you are, because in my experience, I lived in Wells, and for anybody that's not familiar, you're on where you are is like on the complete opposite side of where I lived when I went to Whitewater, and you're right next to Drumlin, which is a dining hall. I think it's the nicer of the two, and you're also right next to Herbs and Gerbs. Is that still there?
Oh yeah, I get herbs and gerbs at least once a week. So
Oh my god, yes.
it's like the only good place to eat. If you go to the main cafeteria of Drumlin, it's all like these different varieties of foods. Like there's pizza, and
Pizza
Kayla,
sucks.
my girlfriend, says it tastes like cardboard. So
yeah, it's terrible.
I've stayed away from it. What else was there? There was chicken and waffles, chicken and French fries. It's just like little chicken nuggets, and then there's a Mongolian place, and that Mongolian place, like the rice, um, it just tasted like you fried rice without the water, so it's just hard. It's bad. It's like biting rocks. So
the cafeteria food sucks.
Yeah.
Biting rocks.
Yeah. Little pebbles in
Herbs,
your mouth, Wyatt.
Herbs is great though. I'm glad that place is still there. That's what I always went to. I always got Herbs. Have you eaten at the UC, the University Center?
Yeah. What did we get? I think I just got like chicken tenders and fries. So the better version of what we have at Drumlin. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like that.
So,
But
how's your you got your shower shoes?
oh yeah, I got my prison shoes, my soap on a rope, my towel that wraps around my neck.
Got a little shower caddy?
Yep.
You
Yep.
loving it? You living the life?
Oh, it's awful. But like okay. So I've told this story throughout the family. Don't know if Wyatt's heard it yet, but so we go into our bathrooms, right? And there's like 4 stalls, and then there's 4 sinks on the other side, and then straight ahead is the showers past a curtain. And it's not like a normal curtain that you'd have in your bathroom for your shower. It's like just like a thin, kind of transparent sort of material, and then past that is 3 or 4 shower stalls with the same sort of curtain. And if you open up the door really fast, or you start doing the hand blow dryer, um, it the curtain will move. So imagine if you're in the showers and someone opens up the door really fast, and that curtain just you giblets would be out. So
Giblets would be out.
so it's a little bit rough in that aspect, but everything else is subpar. So it's college lifestyle. What can I say?
Nobody's stolen your towel yet?
Oh no, I take a shower at between the hours of 5 at the earliest to 6, so I don't have to deal with the crazy morning rush of going to the bathroom or taking a shower, and that it helps.
Oh,
Get my
dorm
coffee in
life.
afterwards.
Yeah,
Yep.
I remember that.
Have you gotten plugged in at all on campus, or are you just riding your own wave, just school and staying in the dorm?
I will say I did do a accounting society meeting. It was a virtual meeting, so a little pat on the back to me. I haven't done any other events. There was the accounting fair. I want to say that was the second or first week, but I had no dress clothes, and I didn't realize that the day I went to class was the accounting fair. So I didn't want to show up in sweatshirts, a sweatshirt and shorts to the accounting fair and hand out resumes, which they wouldn't even be resumes, they'd be PDFs because I don't have a printer and I didn't have time to go to a printer. So it would more so be name dropping than anything else.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
I remember a lot of days walking into Highland. If I was just going to class, I'd feel so out of place because I'd be like scrubbing super hard, just sweatshirt, sweatpants. And then there's a bunch of kids walking in with suits, and I'm like, oh my God.
But like, part of me is wondering if it's presentations or just like that's how they like to wear things. I mean, last year when I was at URock, I was like, I'm going to wear a suit or dress clothes once a week, but like not to that extent of what they're doing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see. I was accounting, and then I didn't want to do the work, so I switched to finance, and it was easier, so I took the easy way out. We'll see if you can make it. How you feeling so far? You're taking accounting classes now, right? Because you're technically junior, or no?
Yeah, I'm technically a junior.
Okay.
So this accounting class, managerial accounting, not too bad yet. First test score came back. I believe it was a 50 out of 50 or something like that.
Ooh.
So 100%. I'll just say 100% because that's what I got. So
this is also the guy that decided over the summer that he wanted to, just for fun, just for the fun of it, wanted to do a coding class on his own and pay for a subscription to learn about coding.
Nerd.
In all fairness,
no, that's good.
I didn't learn too much. Oh, there goes my light. I didn't learn too much, so I still kind of have to reprocess all of that information that I learned over the summer and try and figure out the how to better understand coding. I thought you were gonna bring up the pre-calc one, Wyatt, but
I definitely was gonna bring that one up as well. He nonchalantly is like, yeah, I got a 50 out of 50 on the test, no big deal. And it's also the same kid that taught himself pre-calculus in high school, so he is a freaking nerd.
Pre-calc 1 was harder than it should have been. I did not have a graphing calculator, and everyone else had a graphing calculator, and I still managed to get an A. So that's my little not so modest way of thinking about it. But yeah.
Look at you. I hated calc. Pre-calc in high school. The teacher I had was terrible. just terrible. So I hated pre-calc. And then when I got to college, had to do calculus, and one of the greatest teachers ever. He was Chinese, and none of the class could understand what he was saying. But every test, if you got something wrong, he took off like 0.2. So you could get like 50 things wrong and still get an A. So I got an A, and I seriously, if it was graded normally, I would have failed. So
I understand what you're saying. I have one class that is just so far all of the quizzes and tests are just based off of your participation, not based off of if you get anything right, which is worrisome to me. But I took a quiz. I don't know if I got any of the answers right. I don't think she has sent out anything saying these are the answers. So yeah, I got 100% on that. So mom and dad, if you're watching, I'm doing great.
So you're occasionally putting the games away.
Yes, occasionally. There has been 2 new video games that are coming out. Well, one already came out, so I've been grinding on that a little bit. And then the one that's coming out, studies are getting pushed towards the shelves. A little bit. Just a little bit.
I was gonna ask you, like, have you noticed your time management being a little different now that you're on your own in a dorm on campus, or not really?
It's 150% different because classes are weird because I only have maybe 3 hours of class every day. So it's kind of like I'll go to class, come back, and I'll either study, take a nap, play video games, or I guess it depends on the day because sometimes I just wait for my next class to begin. But it's my Monday, Wednesday classes that I can just come back and take a nap or do whatever I need to, and then go back to Highland and go do class, and I'll be done with classes by, at the latest, I want to say 4:45, and that's my Tuesday, Thursdays, but my Monday, Wednesdays is like 3:00. So
yeah, no Friday classes.
No Friday classes.
Yeah, that's what I always tried to do as well. No Friday classes.
I don't think my any of the classes that were offered were any Friday classes to begin with. So
yeah,
upperclassmen stuff.
Yeah, I know. That's like when I was a freshman, I had a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it was terrible. And then you couldn't get any of the early classes. You had to take like my day would end. I never wanted my day to go till 4:45, but like it always happened that way. And my last classes would be higher hall. Have you had a class there yet?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know what that is. So, no.
It's literally the last building. If you just walk straight through the UC, it's like all the way at the back. So it was from Wells, where I was, the longest walk ever. And it was always on the 3rd floor, the steepest steps ever. And I had to walk all the way up there. And by the time, it would be freezing outside. And by the time I'd get to my class, I'd be sweating.
This is reminding me of like the stories of how parents used to have to walk to school. Like we had to walk without shoes in the middle of winter, snowing, tundra, just all the bad things that you can think of.
Well, yeah, it happens at Whitewater when winter comes around. But lucky for you, where your dorm is, you're right next to Highland, so you won't have to walk very far. But there were so many days I had to walk through the snow, just like hunched up like this, trucking it as fast as I could.
Yeah, if I'm crawling, it's a 5-minute walk. So just so we all are aware of how close it is.
Wyatt, your college experience was very different than ours. Like
very different.
Yeah, explain your first 2 years of college life.
Yeah, mine. So first year. So I did junior college in Iowa, and the junior college had two different campuses. They had a main campus in a different town, and had basically all of the sports there on the main campus. I was on kind of an extended campus, different town, about 40 minutes away from the main campus, so never really went there. And it was just baseball that was at this campus, and in the dorm, it was just baseball players. So it was, I mean, basically we were just kind of living, breathing, sleeping, baseball and school all together in the same dorm. And it wasn't a big dorm by any means. It was like an L-shaped dorm with maybe 50 rooms in total, maybe. But yeah, it was definitely a different experience for sure. Talking with the Friday classes, junior college, we only did Monday through Thursday class, so we never had Fridays of class. So we always had a 3-day weekend there, and it was a trimester system. So we had, kind of shortened classes there and didn't have to take as many during that. But on that point, but yeah, basically my schedule was like workout from 5 to 8 and then class from 8 to whatever. And then pre-practice from like 2 to 3, and then actual practice from 3 to 6. And then after 6, it was do homework a little bit or whatever, and then go right to bed and repeat. So that was kind of my 2 years. And my second year there, I was a resident advisor to get a little extra money there. But
he was a narc.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So yeah, that was my experience in the dorms. It was very interesting nonetheless.
Yeah. Wildly different. My experience was a lot of fun, but definitely once you do 1 year in the dorms and you're like, I need to get out of here. So that's for sure.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I've heard stories about things.
You've
here,
heard stories?
So, I'm trying to think of what dorm hall it was, but Kayla told me a story about how someone put their clothes in the laundry machine or something like that, and there was like poop all over one of them. So it was
yikes.
There's some places here that are just better than others, and there are some that are just you should never go to. So
yeah. Obviously I was a freshman in the dorms, so everybody was way less mature. But we had this one guy, his name was Stu, and he was hilarious. But you'd just be sitting in your room, we'd all have our doors open, and Stu would just go running down the hallway butt naked. This dude was just crazy. Pretty sure he intentionally ripped the drinking fountain off the wall. Like, he was always doing some crazy stuff. One day I walk out, he's in the hallway sitting in a chair, and people were shaving his head. I had a lot of weird experiences, but
sounds like
college life, man. It was great.
Absolutely.
Which now you brought me back to one of the other stories with the drinking fountain. A little different because it involves water, but one of the buildings, I don't remember what building it was, but it got flooded. Just someone pulled the fire alarm and the sprinkler system went off or something along those lines, or I think it was like someone like hit it with a pillowcase or something like that, and the sprinkler system just went off and flooded the floor.
Dang.
So renter's insurance, it's a thing. Use it.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say I thought you were going to say that you were using the water fountain and it sprayed your face.
Oh, no. If anything, I would use the water fountain, and it would just spray my crotch. So then it would look like I'm walking around wetting myself. That would be my luck.
Oh, because you're just a giant. They're made for little kids.
Oh yeah. Like all the toilets here.
We had a girl who made some Easy Mac in her dorm in the microwave and
Always.
forgot to put the water in the Easy Mac and smoked up the apartment, and fire alarms went off and everybody had to evacuate. And she became known as the Easy Mac girl. So
Yeah. I feel like that's everywhere. I feel like that every school, every year, there's always someone with the Easy Mac that doesn't put the water in.
Not
and
so
frickin'
easy.
Starts a fire. Not so easy. Moron! Put the water in.
I have gone up to my microwave and I've opened up the door and I just like sit there staring at one hand because I have the bowl in one and then the door to the microwave, and I'm just staring at like there's something wrong here, and then I realize the water.
Don't be that person.
Don't be
Elliot.
the Easy Mac. Don't be the Easy Mac guy.
Try not to be.
That'll be your reputation for the rest of your life. Yeah, so what's your favorite part so far? This will be the last thing. Favorite part about college so far?
And what advice do you have for people?
Oh, okay. So favorite part is definitely not the shower curtains. The walls are paper thin. Now, I get 2 beds to myself, so I'm basically sleeping on a king. So it doesn't feel like a king, but it's the size of a king. So
this guy,
it's kind of my favorite part because it's pretty comfy, slightly. But I mean, it's that, and like I can just hang out here, watch TV. I'm on my own schedule. I'm not really relying on others for their schedules, I should say. Like, I'm not doing chores unless I need to do chores or want to do chores. Like, I'll do laundry on Thursdays or on Wednesday night just to get out of the way for the weekend, and then vacuum usually once a week. So, I mean, being on my own schedule is pretty nice.
Yeah, that independence, it's hitting you.
Yeah.
He's a free boy.
My advice. Ooh. Pack light. Because if you think about
pack light,
you're going to be moving all this crap out by the end of the year. And
you're already thinking about moving out, huh?
No, I'm trying to like think about moving my setup a little bit. And I'm just imagining like what this is going to be like at the end of the year, moving all this stuff out, and it's going through my head like we might need 2 carloads, or I'm just going to have to start bringing stuff home on the weekends stuff that I don't need. So that's like constantly going through my head. What would my actual advice be? Like it quality helps you, like stuff that you like but can't be a distraction. So like TV, video games, it can be good, but it can also be bad. Learning how to kind of like time management a little bit, but like how to use that to benefit you more as a reward than a distraction. That's kind of my overall advice.
Yeah.
You gotta study and do stuff.
Work on your time management skills.
Sometimes the scale is not so balanced. So, I mean, it depends on the day. So
I played a lot of 2K back in college.
Yeah.
A lot of 2K, a lot of Fortnite, a lot of Rocket League.
And you have ruined my life with sports-based games, so I just don't play them anymore. So
yeah. Whooped you a few too many times.
Yeah.
Like that one time we played Madden. 100-0.
Yep. And that was like a year or 2 ago. Just to put that into perspective a little bit. That was when I brought out my computer because Brennan was living at home, and that was
wanted to play some Madden
game. No.
All right, so next on the agenda, we are going to rank our top 5 superhero movies. You guys got your lists?
Oh yeah.
Duh. Big duh.
We all came up with this.
Yep.
Like right before we started potting, and my list
Every time. Every time.
every
Slightly
single time.
relevant.
We're gonna look back on these lists and be like, "What the heck were we doing?" But
Yes.
I still have no idea where I'm ranking any of these. So, do you guys know your number 5? If so, one of you guys can lead.
We got to do honorable mention first because I
Okay.
got that.
Okay. Start with your honorable mention then.
Gus, do you have one?
Yeah, I got one.
Okay.
Dark Knight, Batman, Dark Knight.
Okay.
Dark Knight as an honorable
Honorable
mention?
mention.
Yes.
You gotta
Okay.
be kidding me.
That's higher on my list.
Okay.
buddy.
Okay.
Same,
Let's
same.
think about this. So,
Yep.
so are we gonna
Yep.
come back and discuss it, or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Dark Knight as
Sorry.
an honorable mention. Are you kidding me?
I can't wait to hear the rest of this list. Oh my goodness gracious.
It's the best list you've ever heard. Trust me.
Good
Stay tuned, viewers.
gravy. My honorable mention is Black Panther. I think that one. I wanted to add it to the list so bad, but I just couldn't.
Is it on your list, Elliot?
No, it is not.
Okay, mine either. That is a good one. Thought about it.
I feel
But-
like it was just such an iconic movie and like definitely like was big hype and lived up to the hype. Like
It
there's
did.
just so many good scenes, so much action. The storyline is the bomb. And it's
Wakanda is
Chadwick Boseman.
dope. Yeah,
And Michael B.
Yes.
Jordan.
yeah.
Yes, everyone wanted to be Black Panther. Everyone.
It was really
Or
cool.
Michael B. Jordan. One of the two.
Whatever his name
Or-
was in that.
or
What was his
Michael
name
B.
in that?
Uh,
Michael B. Jordan's
Killmonger.
name. Killmonger.
Killmonger.
Yeah, that's right.
That
He was a good
like
villain.
The Buffett.
Mm-hmm.
Man's huge.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
He was whooping T'Challa's butt. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Movie
Yeah.
context.
It's a good movie. All right, my
Was.
honorable mention. I have two here. I can't decide. I'm just gonna go with honorable mention, Wonder Woman, because Gal Gadot is gorgeous, and it was a really good movie. The second one, I was
Yeah.
not a fan. Is it on any of your guys' lists? Probably not.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Can I say my other honorable mention, just for the hell of it?
Yeah.
Oh, you had two? Cheater. Okay.
I couldn't decide between these two. My other honorable mention, this probably would be stupid if I actually take a deeper look at my superhero movies, but I had Spider-Man No Way Home, the one where all three of them come back. Pretty great movie.
It's a valid one. It's valid. I was thinking about adding it to mine, but I feel like there's just so many other movies.
Yeah.
And I'm just, to be honest, I'm not the biggest Spider-Man guy. So it's Spider-Man's not on my list of superheroes.
Yeah, I feel you there. I mean, there's been 3 iterations. Well, now there's 4. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of
Just-
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
All right. So that wraps up honorable mentions. Elliot, you could start us off with your number 5.
Okay. You guys are either gonna love me or hate me off this, but
Probably
The
hate
Dark
you.
Knight Rises. Double Batman.
What? What?
Okay.
I like this
The
one,
first-
No, this is the third.
the
Yeah,
third
no,
one.
but Dark Knight, the second one was honorable mention, and The Dark Knight Rises is number 5.
Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't
so
make any
it's-
sense. I agree with that.
It's based off of how you viewed it at what age you were. So, depending on what was happening at that time, which I don't remember what was happening at this time, but I remember this movie more than I remember the Heath Ledger Dark Knight. So, I truly love Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight, but I feel like I just okay, this is a thumbnail. This is
Thumbnail.
for part 2. Yes. Okay. But it's Tom Hardy as Bane. I mean, I love the role, and I feel like there was a lot of twists and turns in the plotline, especially with like the love interest becoming the bad guy, but then there's also a new love interest with with
Ooh.
Catwoman, so it was
You
like,
like Anne Hathaway.
oh, who doesn't love Anne Hathaway?
Little
So-
Gus. First crush. Just kidding.
So yeah,
I mean,
Dark Knight
that's
Rises.
valid. That's valid. I mean, Tom Hardy is awesome, and he definitely rocked Bane.
He
Yeah,
did.
the voice has been used
Yes.
throughout time now. So
Yeah.
we're the Millers. I mean,
I
He
don't.
nearly adopted the dog. I was
they're
born in
kind
it.
of they're kind of tied a little bit, but it's hard to. It's spur of the moment list. Let's be honest here. Everything is kind of equal to each other a little bit
Yeah.
in my mind. So
Yeah. Do you have Dark Knight Rises higher on your list, Brandon?
No, I actually had it number 5 as well. Tied
nice.
with Elliot. But I have Dark Knight higher. And I don't know.
I did-
The ranking is really
Yeah.
hard. I
Yeah.
don't know how to rank them. But
To be honest, like I would probably have Dark Knight Rises. I'd probably have it as an honorable mention for me.
okay. so-
Maybe I would see it as a 5, but definitely not above the
Dark Knight. Yeah, I agree with that.
Can't
Like
wait
Elliot-
particularly. Oh my god, your list is just gonna be scavenged. Yeah,
Elliot, like you said though, I actually do remember perfectly where I was when I was going to see Dark Knight Rises. I think I was a freshman. It might have been the year after I graduated from freshman in high school. So going into my sophomore year, I was playing baseball. What did they call that when you played baseball over the summer?
summer
Travel
Uh,
ball?
What?
What? Travel
Um,
ball?
No, like it was for Legion, Junior
Oh,
Legion.
Legion. Yeah.
So it was Junior Legion at the time, I think. And we were all talking about it. And right after one of our games, we all went to see Dark Knight Rises because the hype was off the chain for that movie because it was
Mm-hmm.
the finale of that trilogy after Dark Knight. So, yeah, loved that movie. What's yours, Wyatt? Number 5.
To be honest, like now I'm really thinking about changing mine to that being number 5 as well.
Let's go.
But originally I had Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
That's a pretty good one.
To be honest, I like the second one more than I did the first one, but I really like the group, all the characters in the family and whatnot, and I enjoyed the storyline, enjoyed the music, all of that good stuff. So that's my number 5.
Music is always good. Was this when it was Baby Groot?
Yep.
Yeah,
Baby Groot.
gotcha.
Baby Groot.
Okay.
We're running around at the beginning while they're all fighting.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Listening to the
The
music.
start of it is it's the best.
yeah. I like those
And then
movies.
Drax
None of them
box.
on my list, but the Guardians movies were good.
Yeah.
All right, Elliot, number 4.
Ooh. So this was iconic. I don't want to say it's the first Marvel movie that came out, but it was like the first that piqued my interest. Iron Man, very first one.
I have that
just-
higher on my list.
Yeah, okay. Discussed later. Gotcha.
Yes, we'll discuss soon.
I also have that as my number 4.
Oh, okay,
Nice.
perfect. Well,
And we were trying to figure it out too on number 4 as well, so that's pretty crazy.
Yep.
uh-huh.
Yep, we were.
Okay. You know what? I think I'm gonna switch my 3 and 4 to make this easier. My number 3.
Gus said no, too
my
late.
number 3 was gonna be Iron Man, but I'm cool with switching it.
Okay.
So I'll put it number
Okay.
4. I think it actually makes more sense that way. So Iron Man, number 4 for all of us.
I think for me, I mean, one, Robert Downey Jr. like changed the game with that one. And 2, without that one, there would be none of these other Marvel movies that we have. So, I mean, it's hard not to have Iron Man in the top 5 whatsoever.
Yeah, it was so cool. And it, like you said, it was the start of the whole kind of MCU as we know it today.
Mm-hmm.
So it was before all the superhero movie fatigue, especially.
Yep.
Like, I remember when this first movie came out, it wasn't just kids going to see it. Like, it was parents, it was adults. Everybody went to see this movie, and it was pretty much like universally loved. And you get to finally see the whole Iron Man suit and everything. Yeah, that movie was awesome. Building the suit in a cave.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. With a box of scraps in a cave. Yeah.
Yep.
It compared to the rest of the movies, this movie is low budget. Like, all the Start movies are low budget movies, and I feel like they did a lot with their budget and who they got. Like, this was Robert Downey Jr.'s comeback movie. This is him before he's millions of dollars per movie. This is like, you're paying him so little of a cut that it was pretty much just pocketed, or money pocketed for Marvel. So I mean,
yeah, they took a shot on him.
Yeah,
100%.
That's a good way to put it, Gus. Maybe we'll have you on a pod more often.
But I might have to raise my prices.
This was your comeback, your Robert Downey Jr. pod, your Iron Man pod.
Yep. Start wearing my suit.
Yeah, I don't think just because they have high budget means it's going to be good, because most of the time that means they're going to spend way too much money on CGI and all the stuff that makes it fake. And I like movies that seem real, and that's just my opinion. And this one seemed like realistic, and I like that. Didn't have anything to do with aliens coming down, you know.
Yeah, well, you can kind of argue that budget is used towards mostly CGI and just like the cast of characters, like Robert Downey Jr. Like, later on, you get Michael B. Jordan as a villain. I feel like he's a high budget character to add on as a villain.
Yeah.
So there's some give and take.
It was a good one. Kicked it all off. All right, so that was all of our number 4. Elliot, then back to you. What is your number 3?
Okay. A little bit of a hint here. It's a animated movie, and it is cartoony. So it is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Me personally, I like the Spider-Man movies. I like Miles Morales' character development a little bit better. It's more unique compared to the other ones. It kind of has that whole Spider-Man sort of premise to it, where it's like a kid, or kind of like in between high school to college age, and it's just like struggling through its own personal problems. And I just like how it's sort of Stan Lee's like infamous character that he's made. So I like him over a majority of the superheroes, like Iron Man. Like, it's kind of Spider-Man over everyone else for me.
I feel ya. Well, if you reference our second episode ever, I talked a lot of crap about Spider-Verse.
I'm well aware. Yeah.
The second one, though.
The second one, yes.
Yeah, the second one was...
We can agree with you that the first one was really good. So
it was.
I didn't
really good.
It's not going to be on my list, but the first one was really good. The second one's where you lose me.
Yeah. I like the animations in the second one. It was just too much cliffhanger for me. The first one, the animations were super choppy, and that's the only thing I hate about it, is how the animations were.
Yeah. All right. Not on your list, Wyatt? No.
Yeah. Okay. I kind of figured that's why I went on my little rant.
All right. So
talk so much crap.
Go ahead, Wyatt.
My number 3 is Deadpool.
Ooh. Thought about
Fire on my list.
Okay. All right, so then we'll wait. I thought about it, but I didn't add that one. My
You
number.
did not. You did. You
I
did
did
not
not.
have that one on the
No.
list.
No.
Gus, you do.
Yes.
Higher.
Yeah. Yeah.
My number 3 is Endgame. Is it on your guys' list?
I wanted to add it to the top 5, and I'm just gonna. Gus, you don't have it on your list. You
Nope.
just said that, right? So I'm just gonna say this before you go into it. The only reason I did not have Endgame on my list is because they made Thanos look awful. Like he was a terrible villain in that movie.
Didn't they kill him like immediately?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then the first 30 minutes and it comes back later. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't make him as appealing to me as they do Infinity War. So that's all I'm going to say, but you go ahead.
Yeah. I feel you there. The only reason I think a lot of people prefer Infinity War over Endgame, but the only reason I won't is because, like Elliot said, I can't do cliffhangers or when they split movies in half. I just really don't like it because then you gotta wait so long for the next one. So that's why Infinity War turned me off. But Endgame, obviously, just I'm a big theater experience person, and the hype surrounding this was bigger than any other movie I've ever seen, for sure. And you walk in, and so many different parts of the movie, the whole theater is clapping, cheering, and crying, like all the emotions. You kind of get to experience the whole thing, and it was the epic conclusion of that kind of story. And for me, it was pretty much the conclusion of the MCU because, like, ever since then, I haven't been interested in it. So, great movie, had to be on the list.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I think me and Wyatt watched both these movies twice in the movie theaters together, at least.
We
so, it's pretty big for both of us not to have Endgame in our list, considering the fact that we watched it so many times in the theaters. But
yeah, I watched it twice as well. It's like a 3-hour-long movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
For a cliffhanger too. That's unprecedented.
Yeah.
But I feel like I kind of like the way that they made Thanos, because it was like he was returning to that level of prosperity. Like he got exactly what he wanted, so there was nothing left to him besides just sitting down and just living a comfortable life, doing whatever he wanted. And then there's nothing more to the man after that. They just kill him off because he's not needed. No stones, no Thanos. Hence, death. But later on, he comes back because they're trying to undo his work. So, I get the whole plot line. It might have been a little bit cooler if there was a different villain maybe introduced, but I think that would have been going too off topic. So, I enjoyed it. Not in the top 5 though. So, not enjoyed too much.
All right, one side note here. I hated what they did to the Hulk. Like, I'm not a comic person, so I don't know. I know that there's what do they call him? The Smart Hulk, I don't know, version of him.
Oh, yeah.
But
you didn't like that?
I hated that. No, I hated it.
Hmm.
He, I think they changed the look of him too, which I wasn't a big fan of. But they just made this big, huge Hulk, intimidating person into a little baby, it seemed like. Was not a fan of that. I don't know why, but that's always bothered me a lot.
Yeah.
Number 2, then. Go ahead, Gus.
It is what Wyatt just said, Deadpool.
All right.
Not on your list, right, Brennan?
Nope.
Okay. Wyatt, do you want to go first since it's your number 3?
Nope, you go ahead.
Okay. Take me a little bit back down memory lane. I watched this movie in middle school with our sister Gabe and our mother. Our mother didn't know what this movie was, so took us to the movie theater. A couple of I think high school age kids were like, "This is cool that you're bringing your middle school age children to the movie theater to watch this movie," and they were like, "Hell yeah!" Sorry,
You're fine.
but I mean, it was one of the first kind of like rated R movies that I actually watched that was superhero, I should say, that I really enjoyed. And it's just quirky. I feel like that's where I get most of my humor from is Deadpool. It's just like weird one-off quirky lines, and it's just an all-around fun experience for the whole family. Like, of course, the second movie is the family movie, and the first is the love movie, but whatever. Should put Deadpool too.
Yeah, I agree with Gus. Like, I think Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool go together like peanut butter and jelly.
He was born for that role for sure.
Yeah.
And he's Canadian.
And he's Canadian. I think like his humor that he brought to Deadpool or still is like it's just the best. And the storyline for that one was good. And yeah, I mean, just all the one-liners, like, yeah, you could just continue to watch that one for days and, catch all of the lines in that movie and start quoting it. So yeah, I think it was a good one.
And they made two, so you get double the lines.
I do remember that, though. Bunch of parents bringing their kids, super young kids, to a superhero movie, and then realizing what it was, and being absolutely shocked. Yeah, it was a really funny movie. Good ones.
Well, the first things that you see are the well, it's not really the title screen, but it's the car accident, and there's all these weird little one-liners on the screen, like just like swear words and such. And Corey is just like, "What did I bring them to?"
But it's right up her alley, though, so perfect.
Oh, Dan and Corey's alley, just yin and yang.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so
your two, or
yours. Let's go with yours.
Mine, The Dark Knight.
All right, well, that's higher on my list. So
This guy's
my number 2 then is the original Spider-Man. Like Elliot was saying, Spider-Man was always my favorite as well. And it's tough because this one was before a lot of the new superhero movies came out, so they're very different. But I don't know. I've always loved the Green Goblin, and Willem Dafoe is amazing in that movie. Super scary. I don't know. It's the first superhero movie I grew up with and loved, so had to be on there.
Yeah.
Elliot was probably too scared. He was probably like, "Oh, scary man, I can't watch."
Okay, no diss on Tobey Maguire, but that had to be like one of his worst series of acting ever. I think the villains made that series go. Like, you have James Franco as the later Green Goblin, William Dafoe.
He wasn't born yet.
Oh, okay. Just the acting was not there for me with Tobey. Like, if you compare it to like the modern acting, or like even just like better movies, I shouldn't say better movies, but like
better acting,
better performances of acting. So it's not really that great.
I agree. I agree with that. I don't think Tobey's a very good actor, to be honest. But yeah, I really like the movies. I feel like his movies are way better than like Tom Holland, even though I think Tom Holland is a much better actor. So
yeah, it depends on like the whole nostalgic aspect of it, but
yeah,
he's not. It depends on what role Tobey Maguire plays. That's what should be. Yeah. Like, he's had good movies, but his facial expressions just don't match his mouth. It's weird.
All right. Well, on that note, we're to number 1. So, Elliot, your favorite superhero movie?
This is pulling on heartstrings a little bit, but Infinity War. Just anyone else? No.
I had Infinity War as my number 1.
Yay! Shall we discuss or re-interviewing later?
Oh, you're good because I already told him Dark Knight's higher on my list. So Dark Knight obviously was my number 1. But yeah, go ahead with Infinity War.
Okay. Like you said earlier, with Endgame and Infinity War, the movie theater atmosphere, like all of Marvel fandom just came out of the woodworks for those 2 movies, especially with the last movie because they wanted to know what happened at the end. Infinity War, I liked how they just put things together, and I don't know, it was just like the different twists and turns that they took in the plot, and like at the very end you just kind of lose all hope, and then it just goes to be continued, and then it's like a little bit of a cliffhanger, and it just goes like, okay, I'm ready for the next movie, give it to me now. But then you had to wait like 3 more years. So but it's better than the people that got bleeped because they had 5 years. So
People had to just wait 1 year. Okay, it wasn't that
really?
bad.
Really? Was it 1
Yeah,
year?
it was just 1 year.
Okay, well, it felt like 3. So
Yeah.
Marvel,
I think
People would have revolted if it was 3 years, I feel
it was
like.
3,
yeah. I think like Brennan said, is not a big cliffhanger guy. I feel like I am a big cliffhanger guy when it's necessary or when it's good. Like going back to episode 2 of the second Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, like that was unnecessary. But
Yeah.
Infinity War, like talk about like a theater experience there of how it ended, and like everyone's just jaws drop, like of how crazy the ending was. I don't think really anyone was expecting it to go that far. I think throughout the whole movie, like growing up for me, my favorite all-time villain is Darth Vader. And when I saw Thanos and through that movie, like it made me absolutely love Thanos.
Josh Brolin.
So yeah,
Deadpool.
I think it made me contemplate who my favorite all-time villain was, and I think Thanos like rocked that movie completely. So that's why Endgame for me, like I was really salty on how they treated Thanos in that movie because it wasn't irrelevant, but like how they brought him back, like he had no chance. And so Infinity War, he just dominated the whole movie, and it was really cool to see.
By had no chance, you mean he didn't have the Infinity Stones or the Infinity Gauntlet?
I mean, the end of Endgame, like he just like everyone was there, and he was just getting beat on pretty good. Like
that's usually what happens.
He just really didn't.
When it's a villain.
They just, I don't know. They just didn't make him look good. Like I feel like he would have had a better fight than that. But
would you prefer they all just take turns, just like 1-on-1 every? Like that would be
would have made for a better movie.
At least 5 more movies. But I think he did stand a chance. Like he was beating up Captain America and Thor without the Infinity Stones. The only challenge that he had was Wanda and Captain Marvel. So I mean, he was on equal footing with everyone except for 2. I think him having the gauntlet or just a single stone would be a little bit rough on the whole movie making community, and Marvel fandom. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
writer's strike,
that's fair.
please end.
I think it did, didn't it? I think it just ended.
I hope.
Did
Um,
it?
I think it did. Yeah.
Stranger Things, yes. Stranger
Yeah.
Things season 5 is on the way.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I did hear something, so I think it did end. But yeah, Infinity War, I remember the end of that movie. It's just silent in the movie theater. And right, there was like no music. I don't think there was a end credit scene. Like it was
Mm-mm.
just done.
Mm-mm.
And the whole
Yeah.
theater just files out silently. Like, oh man, that
Yeah.
that theater experience was really eerie.
Yeah. Like I think that's the other part too of like out of all the MCU movies, like that's the darkest one, I
Yeah.
think, next to Age of Ultron. But that had a good ending to it. Like
Yeah.
everything ended up well at the end of it. Whereas Infinity War, it was very dark ending.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of which, Age of Ultron, it ends with Vision killing Ultron. And in this one, it ends with pretty much Thanos killing Vision to get the stone so he can complete the gauntlet. So thanks for the full circle there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True that.
All right.
But
So go ahead. You
Sorry.
got something else?
Yeah, like the end of the movie is Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. And then just vanish. Like just a roller coaster of emotions, that whole movie. And I think that is why it is number one, and that's why it is there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Gotcha. Well, that leaves my number one, Dark Knight. Wyatt, you had that number 2. Elliot somehow had it honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
Dark Knight, just the iconic. Like whenever I'm trying to think of my favorite movie, the very first movie that comes to mind is The Dark Knight, and it's really hard to come up with other movies for me. And Christian Bale is just incredible. He's always going to be my favorite Batman. And Heath Ledger obviously is a legend. His Joker was just incredible. Everything about that movie was awesome. I've rewatched it a ton of times, and if it's on TV and you're just clicking through, you end up sticking to that channel and watching the rest of the movie. Like, there's not many movies for me that are like that, and Dark Knight was always one of them.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Christian Bale definitely is the best Batman of all time. Like it's hard to. All 3 of his movies were just iconic, and Heath Ledger went out like a boss. Like that was, his Joker. It just doesn't compare to anyone else's.
Yeah.
Or will it be going forward? So, and it's too bad that he had to pass, because I know they were talking like the 3rd movie was going to be continuation of that and have the Joker in that 3rd one too until that happened. But yeah, I think that movie just blows me away of how like the action of it, the storyline.
You know what else?
You just
the music, the score, I think
the music,
you call it, gives me chills, man. Whenever that music comes on.
Yeah. All the Joker's laugh. It's everything, man. It's a really good movie.
Yeah,
just really good.
What I would say about the Batman movies?
Yeah, go ahead.
They're more realistic than what Marvel movies are. So it's kind of like that level of uncomfortableness in you that's like, what if this actually really happened? Like, not really like the superhero strengths or a millionaire running around in a suit or a billionaire running around in a suit, but just like the plot on how things happen, like especially the Joker character is just always thinking of different schemes, and Heath Ledger is just, to add on, like he's just an amazing actor. Like there's things that he's done beforehand that were, I wouldn't say on par with this movie, but still good. 10 Things I Hate About You. But like he just made such a great villain.
Yeah.
It's hard. Well, in the DC universe, he's probably the best villain, I would say. Only because the rest of the DC movies just kind of suck. All the Batman movies are just on top of that list. So that's
yeah. I think the other thing too, just thinking about now, like it wasn't necessarily like Batman versus Joker as it typically was. It was all through Two-Face and like that whole thing. And so like that was really cool to see, kind of like it wasn't really a side piece of the movie, but like it was really neat to see that aspect, and then obviously the ending of that, and how Batman takes the blame for all of it, and covers all that Two-Face up there, that storyline up going into the third one. But
yeah,
I thought it was just really neat.
Yeah, like you said, Elliot, I love movies that are somewhat realistic and like have a chance of actually happening. And that's why I have 2 of the Batman movies on my top 5 list, because like a lot of the MCU movies just didn't hit the same to me because it just didn't feel like it was possible or realistic or had real stakes. That was my main complaint with a lot of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. Didn't have real stakes until the last movie when stuff really tragically hit him. And that's why I like the Batman movies. They were so dark. Literally, Dark Knight, They were awesome movies.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised if anything ever tops it, because it's been my top since it came out. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And the aspect of death too. Like Marvel movies, they have some every other movie, but I mean, Batman, like he loses Rachel and then he loses Harvey, so it's kind of like things just are rough because Harvey's supposed to be like the golden boy of Gotham, and the Joker just destroys him and turns him into Two-Face. So it's a good movie, but Dark Knight still there. Dark Knight Rises. Add the rise at the end. Rewrite scribble.
Batman Begins was good too, but not on the level of the other 2.
No,
but
Liam Neeson.
Yeah,
that one's weird movie.
Yeah, that one was like, I can never remember what happens in it, but then I'll watch it and be like, oh yeah, I remember this. But like just sitting here right now, I'm like, what happens in that first movie? But yeah, overall though, that trilogy was incredible. Do you guys like the new Batman, Robert Pattinson? Have you seen that movie? No?
You did not see it, or you don't like it?
I have not seen it yet. I don't think I really will see it out of like seriousness. It might be on like a channel that I'm watching, maybe if I'm actually on Charter Spectrum watching TV, but I am never doing that. Maybe it's I watch it for PG version of it, poop and giggles. So I don't know if I really will ever, but maybe.
It's on Max.
Yeah,
I know, but I don't have all the Max passwords. That's on the living room TV. That's only on the living room TV.
I watched it in the theaters. I liked it.
Yeah.
I think it was, again, kind of as we continue on with our conversations of length of movies, like it was another one of those movies that may have been just a little bit too long.
Yeah.
Because it was 3 hours long. I really like that in Robert Pattinson's, like, they're making it more of him as a detective than it is as a blowing stuff up, big bad type guy. So, which is more comic book accurate. And so I like that. I thought the Riddler was good, but they kind of ended him like kind of an idiot. So
yeah,
I didn't really like that part, but I thought the movie was pretty good. I don't know if like, because they had the Penguin in there too, and I don't necessarily know if they needed to have him in there just yet. But I see what they're trying to do with it, and they touched on like the Joker as an end credit there, or not really an end credit, but the end of that movie with the Riddler. So yeah, I'm interested to see the next one. I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
It's obviously not Christian Bale level, but it's still good.
Agreed. I think definitely not Christian Bale level, but I liked Robert Pattinson. I liked that he was more of a detective as well. Different style of movie. It was good.
Yeah.
Elliot, your lights are going out again, bro.
Yeah. I will say that our Joker after Heath Ledger, if I remember correctly, was Jared Leto in Suicide Squad. So, Joaquin Phoenix, you were great Joker. Come top 5. Heath Ledger still up there. So I would be interested to see who gets casted as Joker for the next Joker. But I don't think he's gonna really beat Heath Ledger.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is good. They're coming out with the second one. I'm excited for that.
That's mind games right there.
I don't know if I'm excited for it. I don't know how it's gonna do.
Did you hear that they're thinking about rebooting The Office, or that they're going to?
The American one or the UK?
Yeah, American. I'm pretty sure it's real. I should probably look into it more though. But yeah, it was going around.
Really?
It's going around the internet that they were going to reboot The Office and Greg Daniels was going to be the showrunner again. I don't know how I feel about it.
Same cast and crew?
I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know. If it is, it's like I kind of feel like you had a good thing, just kind of leave it, let it be. So mixed feelings about that. We'll have to look that up and make sure that's true.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing it floating around the internet this last week.
Interesting.
If they do it, I think it would be a new cast.
New cast.
Yeah. With
see how they do that. Bring back Michael Scott with a bunch of his little kids and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, they'd have to do a new cast.
I mean, they ended it with Dwight being the
married
manager,
the regional manager.
Yeah.
So I guess you could have him and a couple cameos and whatnot with more of a different crew.
Yeah.
Under him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not be as bad.
It might not be bad. Like, it's hard because certain shows come back and they do a good job, but then there's other shows that they bring back and they do a terrible job, and it kind of ruins the legacy of the show. So kind of tough.
Yeah,
they did it with Dexter. And did you guys ever watch Dexter or no? No.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, they brought Dexter back, and the show that they brought back I thought was really good. They just brought it back for one more season, and it was really good. So it can happen.
Oh, they only did one season?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it can work, but who knows? Last thing I wanted to mention is I'm watching a few different things about the Amazon. Have you guys seen any videos, podcasts about people who like live in the Amazon jungle and all that stuff?
Rainforest, you mean?
Yeah, well, Amazon rainforest, but yes, it's a jungle too. And so there's a Joe Rogan podcast, and he has on, his name's Paul Rosalie, and he's also been on other podcasts too. There's the one with Lex Friedman, I think his name is. But I'll send you guys the links. It's so interesting though. Talks about living there and trying to conserve the rainforest and all this stuff. But there's like uncontacted tribes of people that live in the Amazon, and they have no idea what the world is like because they've always been there and they've never left. And like, if humans come in contact with them, they just light them up with arrows, kill them immediately. Most of them. So it's like, these people do not want to be contacted because, I mean, it all goes back to rubber. They were mining for rubber in the forests, and they kind of killed all the indigenous people that live there. So they've been scared of people ever since then. It's just this huge story about these uncontacted tribes. It's so interesting. And then about all the animals that are in the Amazon. It's crazy, but I'll send you the links. There's also a book too. And I'm actually reading a book. And that's how interesting it is.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. It's super good. But yeah, there's people out there that are just like right now living in the Amazon rainforest with no clothes. They're barefoot. It's like Tarzan pretty much. They got 6-foot bow and arrows. They hunt for their food out with all these animals, insects that are carrying diseases. It's like, how do they survive? But they do.
You know, there's this thing called indigenous people, right? And they're like all over the world. Like there's some in Jamaica too that killed off a missionary that was boating in, and they saw him, and they just lit him up with arrows as well.
I know, that's what these people are.
think
That's what I
they also
said.
ate- I think those ones are cannibals too. Ooh,
Oh yeah, well,
rough.
yeah. I mean, if you need food, you'll eat whatever you can. But I just think it's crazy. There's certain people who want to contact these people and try and help them, and then there's other people who think we should just leave them alone, let them be, and it's a kind of a war. It's like, what do you do?
Well, I don't really think they are asking for our help.
No,
To
they're
be
not.
honest, they're kind of just, they don't even know about us. They're living life to the fullest as they are within their tribe or group, community, whatever. They don't know about us. They don't really care about us besides us
Staying away from them.
trespassing, yeah, that, and disturbing their way of life. So what's the point of handing them technology for them to, like, I don't know, throw it away?
That's the thing. Like, they've been on their own for so long, their bodies, their immune systems aren't able to
Yeah,
fight
it's
off
different.
all the diseases that we can fight off because we've evolved over time and we have medicine and stuff. Like, so it's just, yeah, it's really super interesting. But this guy, Paul Rosalie, he's a really good storyteller too. So Julia and I were sitting here, and it's like the podcast with Lex Friedman is 3.5 hours long, and we just sat here and watched for 2.5 hours, and we were like, oh my god, it's like midnight, we need to go to bed. So we had to stop, but it's like it kept your attention the entire time. Pretty crazy.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, so we'll have to send you that link. You guys can check it out, and then on a future podcast we can discuss.
Sounds good.
All right.
Oh, I'm going to be back for a future podcast. That's what I'm hearing.
Maybe
Put that on the
maybe.
record.
You have to pay us though
Oh,
for the exposure.
Yep.
Broke college student. Rain check.
I'll take your dining dollars. Do they still have dining dollars?
I have $50 in dining dollars.
Come back and get some herbs and gerbs.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. That'll do it for part 2 of this special edition of 3 Bros in a Pod. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, share the video, tell Elliot that he did a terrible job, and make sure to listen to us next week. Elliot, Wyatt, I'll see you guys soon. It was fun. Talk to you later.
Peace out, Girl Scout.
Toodles.
Take it easy, Mountain Faith.